Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, the champion, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. This man is a movie snob with a background in fighting and a lifelong addiction to all things superhero related. Presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed host of the show, the Iron Cube.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode number 112 of the Iron Cube Fights Movies. This episode is available on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, and hosted by SoundCloud. We now have a Facebook page for the podcast you can follow for updates, as well as my 1/6 scale figure reviews. This week, the team reviews Stranger Things Season 3, followed by movie, television, and video game news. I'm Kier, your host. With me on the show today are my co-hosts Emerson.
Hey.
And Everett.
Hey, what's up?
I'm going to explain our rating system. On this show, we give the titles we've watched with a rating of win, draw, or loss. A win is a title that we would highly recommend, while a draw is a title we didn't love, but recognize others may appreciate. A loss means we do not recommend the title. If you have not seen the review of the week and would like to avoid spoilers, check the show notes for the timestamp so you can still hear our news sections. Now, as far as the synopsis, I couldn't find a good one. Most of it was about Season 1. Can you guys describe this show?
This season or the overall show?
Just the show. Like, what is the show?
Yeah. So the show is basically it follows a small group of children and other individuals in a town of Hawkins, Indiana, as they deal with a paranormal sort of alternate dimension while also dealing with everyday issues as they go through life.
And it's meant to have it's in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's supposed to be an 80s vibe. Some people are like obsessed with it. I personally don't really care. Like, I wouldn't care if it was modern
obsessed
day,
is
but
a good way to put it, yeah.
I don't really care about the 80s vibe that much. Like, it could be modern day. I guess it's nice. I don't really mind.
All right, so let's go ahead and give our ratings. Everett, why don't you go first?
All right. I'm going to give this a win. I really enjoyed watching this. So I haven't watched the first two seasons in a long time, so it's nice to return to like this series. It was kind of interesting though, because these seasons have like a shorter episode count. Like it's like 8 episodes. I know this is 8 episodes, so this was a really odd thing for me because I kind of wished it was a little bit longer, which is a little opposite from what we normally say when we review Netflix shows. That we wish it was shorter because they always pad it out for runtimes, but I really enjoyed watching this. But as I was talking about this with Emerson the other day, it's not the kind of enjoyment I get where I'm like really obsessed with the show and I want to see more. It's the kind of enjoyment where I watch it, I think it's entertaining, I might rewatch it in the future, but it's not something I'm like overly obsessed with and I was like a diehard fan for. So I watched it. I enjoyed it. I think all the acting from all the people in it was phenomenal. I thought the effects were great. And, yeah, I thought it was a great season. Hope they do another one.
All right, I'm here. So you enjoyed it then?
Yeah, I gave it a win.
And Emerson?
So I also give it a win. I agree with what Everett's saying where...
Just talk.
I agree with what Everett's saying where this is not a type of show that, oh my god, they announced the next season. I can't wait. I'm counting it down. I kind of don't care. I was like, oh, cool, Stranger Things is coming out. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I liked the episodes. I mostly liked all the characters. I thought the plot was cool. It was fun to watch. Like Everett said, I like that it was 8 episodes because instead of this being this drawn out thing, I felt like each episode was moving things forward, which was nice. And just like Everett said, if they make another season, cool, I'd be happy to watch it. But I'm not frothing at the mouth like, we need another season, I need another season right now. So I give it a win, but I don't think that... I think a lot of people would call us fake fans who are like worshiping the show at an altar.
I agree. Yeah, sorry about the dog. So you gave it a win then?
Yeah.
So I give it a draw. God damn it. Every time. I mean, this wasn't a thing before, right? Like, I had the dogs.
No, it wasn't. Well, because you were on a different floor, so you could
suppose, yeah. Yeah. And, like, a butterfly flies past the house and the dogs, like, lose their shit. Okay. So I give it a draw for one reason, mainly, because as I mildly enjoyed the show, which would mandate a draw, but at the same time, I'm looking at this like, if I didn't watch the first 2 seasons, this season would not work for me at all. Which isn't necessarily a drawback, but I didn't find anything new or exciting here that they didn't already kind of do in the first 2 seasons, other than maybe Eleven's outing at the mall.
And see, that's something I have been talking about for a while now, where every season is kind of the same, where it's like, life is normal, the Upside Down is here now, and then life is normal at the end, or is it? Like,
Yeah. Let's go into spoilers.
Yeah, which, it isn't such a bad thing. One interesting thing, so I watched It in the last month, right? Mm-hmm. It, the movie. Finn Wolfhard is in that too.
Yeah, he's such a weird-looking guy.
He is. It's kind of the same type of... It, the movie, is very much like this show.
Right.
I think Finn Wolfhard works better as a, like, supporting guy and not as, like, the leader of the group. Or, just because in It, the leader of the group was a different actor, and Finn was just like a nut who played off him, and I think that worked a lot better. Personally, I kind of got tired of him like, we need to do this, like, and it was less in this season, but it was just an interesting correlation. But so, aren't you glad that it was only 8 episodes, Kia, and not 11 or 12 or 13?
Yeah, and if you ask me, they didn't seem to have enough for 8 either.
I think 8 worked because part of the charm of this is like seeing them be normal. So like, but I do agree that there's some stuff in like 5 and 6 that you can kind of like cut out or condense.
Yeah.
But so I enjoyed the monster. And, like, there was a little bit of that, like...
what about the monster? Because I completely lost track of where this monster was.
So originally it was the Mind Flayer. It's from season 2. Remember when it, like, gets inside him and leaves at the end?
Yeah.
And they, like, trap part of it out there with them? Basically, when the Russians reopen the portal, it allows the Mind Flayer to, like, retake control of that part of it that's in there, and it starts building the weapon. And one of the things I enjoyed about, like you said, like, what do you enjoy? There was a little bit of that small town, what's the movie where it's like pod people? Invasion, I think.
The Body Morphers? Or
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There was a little bit of that going on.
Body Morphers?
Sorry,
Snatchers.
That's the Destroy All Humans version of it, sorry.
It's not Morphers, it's Snatchers.
I'm
Invasion of the Body
version.
Snatchers. There was a little bit of that where, like, the townspeople are being replaced. And I actually kind of like that stuff. That idea that, like, bit by bit, people are being replaced. But they didn't really lean into it as much as I would have liked.
Yeah.
Like, if it was up to me, that would have been the whole, like, season instead of, like, giant raptor monster. 11 was interesting. Her powers were cool. But I guess she doesn't have them now.
Yeah, that was kind of odd to think about. Like, did she, like, just lose them permanently? I'll bet you if they make another season, they'll come back. There's no way that they're going to leave it like that.
Well, I think that's going to be... So I looked this up after. Mm-hmm. The directors said that no 4th season has been approved, but it's been stated before that the brothers who are in charge of this, they had a 4-season story arc, and it was leaked that a 4th season is guaranteed by Netflix, but they don't think they can go past 4.
They shouldn't.
They said there's like some overarching arc that they have 4 seasons of, and then like the brothers want to be done. Although the Netflix guy said, "I hope we could make a 5th," and the brother was like, "Yeah, no." But
that's kind of screwing the pooch at that point.
As I was saying at the start, right? Like how many? So at the end of this, Joyce moves out of
Hawkins,
right? and it looks like Eleven's leaving too. Honestly, there's no way anyone would stay. And also at this point in the 4th season, if anything happens and it takes them longer than 2 seconds to be like, it's the Upside Down. If it I swear to God, if in the 4th season it starts and like a door blows open and they're like, huh, that was weird. If I was living there and had gone through this, if anything happened, I'd be like, it's the Upside Down. It's the Upside Down. It's happening. Like anything. So that's why like it kind of needs to draw to a close. It seemed like, they killed at least one character, guaranteed. Maybe 2, which was kind of nice. Billy, killing him was fine.
Which one's the maybe 2?
Maybe it was Hopper.
Well, didn't they kind of tease that he's alive in the after credits?
That's the thing. Did you watch the
tease?
After credits
I did,
scene?
yeah. What was the tease?
So the Russian soldiers say, not the American, when they go to feed the person to the Demigorgon. They say, no, not the American. Now, it could be Hopper. It could be another character. Or it could be, one theory I saw was that it's Barb from the 1st season. Or it's like, it's somebody else who got trapped in there.
It's Hopper.
I mean, I'd like him to stay dead. I thought that was a really, like, I liked that scene where, like, it's like, oh, you're screwed, and she has to kill him. Like, I think that was, like, appropriately brutal.
There were certain parts where I'd hear his voice and watch a movie.
Hellboy.
And I was like, he would make a great Hellboy. I was like, oh, yeah. They did that.
He is Hellboy.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So I guess, what do you guys think of the Russian, like, side of everything?
It was kind of odd at first, but I got more sympathy at the end when
I'll be right back.
I can't think of the guy's name. Was it Alexei? They called him Smirnov all the time or whatever.
The guy who was like a budget Terminator?
No, not that guy. The analyst.
The
guy in,
scientist.
the white shirt. Yeah, the scientist that got shot. I liked him a lot.
I felt bad when he died.
Yeah, I felt
he was
bad
funny.
when he died.
I did
He
like
just seemed
him.
like he wanted to be like a normal American guy.
He was just funny. Like, but what did you think overall of, like, okay, the Russians are here, they're trying to breach the dimension.
Right.
I was
Correct me if I'm wrong.
disappointed.
Did they have any Russian ties in the last 2 seasons?
No, which is why I think, well, here's the thing, right? I think they felt the need to use the Russians because they were like, the 1st season is the U.S. government messing with it, and it accidentally comes through, okay? The 2nd season is the U.S. government is, like, still trying to mess with it, realizes it's not worth it, and shuts it down. So I think they were trying to not have, oh, the U.S. government's back. It's the Russians. Which, like, okay, I can buy it because it's the Cold War. So the Russians would probably be doing stuff. I kind of liked when the military showed up at the end. I almost wish the military would have shown up during the big fight and fought the Mind Flayer. That's what I thought they were going to do when 11 lost her powers. I was like, yes, have the military show up and fight it.
What I was going to say. I was a bit disappointed to see that the problem in this season was going to be an open gate to the Upside Down, because that meant that the finale was always going to be closing the gate, and it was not going to be like a conclusive ending. And so, like you said, if the army had begun to fight the Mind Flayer or whatever, that's like the end of the show, basically.
Yeah, because the army would, like, blow the town up or win.
Yeah, it would go way past these stupid kids and their adventures. And
yeah,
that
was one of the other things.
For that. I was hoping
Me
for
too.
a conclusive end to this. So as soon as I saw the gate thing, I was like, "Oh, this isn't the last season." God damn it.
And see, that's the thing too. Like, I like a lot of the kids. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's fun, but it's becoming hard for me to believe any of them should be involved in any capacity except 11.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
like,
more of them don't have, like,
well, no,
a
they
long
keep having to
lasting effect of this, like,
No.
PTSD or some fucked up problem.
Go ahead. I don't know.
What I was gonna say was, no, but it's like, okay, so Nancy and her boyfriend, and, like, Steve and Robin, I can kind of buy they might be involved because they're older. And like when Nancy grabs a gun, I'm like, finally, like
Okay,
someone's.
I hate what they did with Nancy's hair, and I didn't want to look at her.
Yeah, she did look bad. But here's the thing: like Steve became boring to me. Robin became a little boring to me.
I like Steve though.
Steve was my favorite character in the first 2 seasons, but in this one, like I don't know, I kind of like they seem to have reset him a little. He like only cares about popularity. Like I feel like he should be past that based off the events. But what I was saying was like, think about it. They contrive like, oh, the kids use their slingshots or the kids throw fireworks on the monster. Like, okay, I get it, but I would have rather seen an attack helicopter strafe the monster than them contriving a reason for the kids to be able to fight. So that was
What did
interesting.
you think about how they split up like Dustin?
I was about to say that. I think it was nice just because it changed the dynamics a bit. Because we've seen them together for like all the other seasons. I guess the other 2.
Yeah.
So by changing the dynamic and introducing new characters, and it was kind of a funny moment when the groups met up. Because you had the adult group, Eleven's group, and Dustin's group. And when the 3 of them...
episode?
Yeah. When
So
when all 3 of them met up and were like, Russians are here. Wait, so this doesn't have to do with the Upside Down? No, it does. But also, like, that was funny.
Yeah, but so them meeting up in the last episode, that's like they're clearly saving that. The whole season is based around them coming together in the last episode, and then you have the big finale. So are the first 7 episodes worth it then?
Yes, because as I said, I like seeing, like, I liked the Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibe that is really present in, like, 3 to 5.
But they did it to like 2 people, and the rest of them we didn't see or know.
Well, we started seeing them. Like, for me, the peak of it was when they're in the hospital. But then, like, when they kill them, they just become gelatinous ooze and escape, which was kind of a cop-out. Because I thought it would be really interesting, like, what if Barb kills this guy and gets arrested? And now she's a murderer, and now one of the challenges, not only do we have to... Or not Barb, sorry.
Nancy?
What's her name? Nancy, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What if Nancy kills the guy in the hospital and then she gets arrested for killing a guy? And so now you have the dual challenge of we need to figure out who is being controlled, but also we need to find a way to justify what she did. And then you can have the mayor and Hopper at odds too, because Hopper's trying to explain that it was okay without looking insane, so the mayor fires him.
I'm gonna say that I think the strength of this show was never the sci-fi horror stuff, and it was always like the kids going on an adventure.
Yeah,
and the nostalgia, like when they're going, I don't know, like this all this stuff, like you said, it's way over their heads completely. They're in over their heads. They don't know what they're doing. What if they were fighting like not like a murderer, but like a child kidnapper or something?
so something non-supernatural.
Yeah, and it's like the kids going on their own like sketchy, dangerous adventures, doing things they shouldn't be doing, but it's not like world ending. Because it really doesn't make sense that they're even involved.
I agree with you, but I think that a lot of the like charm of this is the world ending. So the way I would change that is you can keep some of the upside down stuff, but imagine if there was this guy they thought was like an upside down creature. Let's say there's some upside down stuff going on. They think this guy's an upside down creature, and then no, it turns out he is just a horrible guy, like you said. He's not being controlled, or he's not something in disguise.
That would work once.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that could be like, that could have been a half of this season or a large portion of this season.
But what about, okay, think about it. A large part of the season was 2 teenagers and 2 children snuck into a Russian military base.
Yeah.
Like it kind of lost me.
Well, that's why. So the ending, it looks like the gate's still open. The ending shows that.
Shocker.
Right? Yeah, I know. So what I would want to see from the next season, right, is I would want to see, like, the military needs to be there from the very beginning. In fact, I'd like if the next season started, like, almost immediately I know they haven't done this. They like to try to keep a time frame. But I'd like if the next season started almost immediately where the military's telling everyone to get out. Like, they're just saying, get out, we're closing this down.
Yeah.
And, like, what can happen is the gate is opening, the military's trying to fight it off. And then what you can have is, like, maybe, I don't know. See, 11 has to... She really had a good arc in season 2. Like, she was made by this stuff, she was terrified, and then at the end of season 2, she closed the gate. And, like, she did it. But now it's like, you say, like, you want to give her her moment in the sun, but she's already had it. So does it really hold the weight if she closes the gate again?
Does that, using that logic, do you think they might kill her off? If
they killed her to seal the gate forever, that'd be okay.
I think they will, and I think you're going to get a whole season of stalling up to that moment.
See, that's why I think the military should be involved. Because you know what I would actually enjoy watching? 4 episodes of the military fighting like full speed. Like, turn it into a war movie.
Yeah, you'll
I
never
know,
get that.
but I'd love a few episodes in the military just fighting. Like, fighting to keep the gate closed.
But then it's not about some stupid kids and their, like, dumb
But I don't...
adventures.
Look, the kids are fine. I've had enough of them. I want to see... I always want to see war. Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm in every sci-fi universe, just like with Alita Battle Angel, I'm always more interested in the war that they, like, hint at than whatever nonsense we're following. But I don't know. I just think that... Or at least let it revolve around the military. Hell, make Steve's dad an army guy. And then you can interject Steve into it and, like, some of the kids. Boom.
At this point, Steve is the only one I would like to see come back.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't mind Max. She's not horrible.
She was better this season. I think she was more annoying last time.
Well, because she's, like, her own character now. And I liked, like, the interplay. Like, I actually liked her brother a lot.
Billy?
I'm going to be honest.
That's
Yeah,
the Red
Billy.
Ranger from the Power Ranger movie?
No, I had no idea.
I knew that, yeah.
But I liked Billy a lot in this season. I liked him last season too, even though he's an asshole.
Okay, but the whole, like, MILFs trying to bang that weird teenager, like, that was odd.
Not only was it odd,
They
someone
did it
on
like 3 times.
someone on Reddit made a really good point where they're like, "Imagine if we flipped this, would anyone think it's funny?"
Yeah. I know.
No,
that's a
everyone
really
would
good
be
point.
disgusted.
Yeah, like middle-aged men lusting after a 17-year-old female lifeguard.
Yeah,
And
everyone would be
actually,
like,
making plans with the girl. And
yeah. Everyone would be like, this is disgusting. But because
Yeah.
it's Billy and he's a buff guy, everyone's like, well, it's okay.
Was anyone like, he's not really that buff? Like,
Oh, yeah, when they said he works out every day, I was like, okay.
no, he doesn't.
I mean, I guess, like, if he doesn't use supplements and he's in, like, the 80s and doesn't understand nutrition, maybe.
I mean, he
Like-
looks like he barely does push-ups.
Yeah, I was going to say, because his shoulders aren't broad enough.
Yeah, I thought that that whole thing was bizarre.
It was, but that's why I'm happy that it ended fairly quickly. And, like, him playing the bad guy in a more ethereal, like, monstrous sense was cool to me.
So when he was like flayed, is the flayed man in him? Or the
I
mind
think,
flayer?
I think
Whatever.
yes. Like, well, because that's what happened to Will, or whatever his name was, in season 2. Like,
so it's in him, but so then does he have the powers of Billy? Because that doesn't seem very dangerous.
you mean, does Billy have the Mind Flayer's powers?
No, does the mind flayer have Billy's powers? Because all I saw him do was like human things. He drove a car into. Like,
No, because remember when he breaks out when they lock him in the sauna?
Yeah,
he's able to, like...
He's a little stronger.
Yeah, but that's how the Mind Flayer operates. He makes you slightly stronger, but you aren't, like, you aren't God. That's what I'm saying, where they should have gone into the Invasion of the Body Snatchers route, where it's quantity over quality. It should have been, like, trying to take over and spread. Like, around the world. And, like, a lot of the challenge could be, like, the military's quarantining them, like, Hawkins is locked off, but whatever. Do you think Will's going to come back next season?
Yeah.
Why the hell did they have him leave this season, then?
I think to sell you that Hopper's dead, but once Hopper comes back, I think Winona Ryder will come back, and then she'll bring the kids with them. Or somebody will
shitty
get
mother.
hurt and then they like come back for the funeral, and then they get into more shenanigans.
Yeah. What else? What'd you think of Dustin's girlfriend being revealed?
I thought that was funny.
I did actually think it was funny. I mean, obviously the girlfriend was gonna come at some point because they kept saying if she's even real. So, when she came, but the song was a nice touch. That was a funny thing.
Never ending story. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, it was just like, at first I was like, are they gonna, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to introduce that character, for the next season. Like, oh, they're here now.
Yeah. Possibly. I mean, she lives in Utah.
I don't know, like, they bring her out on vacation, I could see that, because it seems like they're trying to give everyone a couple. Is Will gay? Was that revealed in this season?
There was something, right?
So there's a moment in the garage when Finn Wolfhard's character is talking to Will, and he says, "It's not my fault you don't like girls." And I didn't understand if that meant like he just wasn't interested in girls yet, he's asexual, or he's gay. Like, I couldn't tell.
It seemed like he was gay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I was like, where's his love interest?
I kind of felt bad for him though, because like the whole time in this entire season, like he just wants to go back and like play D&D and like, you know, be kids with them, and everyone's growing up and no one wants to do it anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, that's life.
I'm gonna say that Will and the black kid have like no character development at all. Will was basically like, I don't know, mind controlled or something for most of it. And,
not for this season.
Yeah, for like the entirety of his character, he was like out to lunch basically, and then and the black kid has done nothing. Do you know, what do we know about him? He's got a little sister apparently.
Yeah, who got more character development than him.
And he's dating a white girl
named Max.
So his days are already kind of numbered, if you know.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, that is interesting. You know, small town. I'm surprised there isn't
80s,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
He's
think Billy hinted
trouble.
at that last season.
Right. Yeah. I'd like to see.
But like,
that would be a good villain, like the racist guy trying to kill their friend.
And then the like upside downs happening in the background. Yeah.
No. Screw the upside down.
It has to
Make
be
it
in the
about
show,
that.
Kia.
No.
I know you don't want it, but it has to be
No.
in the show.
No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
And change the name from Stranger Things to,
Yeah, you just want a different show. You want a
change it to,
different
like,
show. That's what
racist
you want.
things. Yeah, that's the new name of the show.
You just want a different show.
Well, this
I
one,
don't know.
This one played its hand in the first season. Season 2 was like nothing to lose your mind over, and season 3 is like only.
Well, this is what I keep
because you
saying, and I
watched the
think it's
first
what
two.
Everett said too. Like, none of us really care, so like it's fun and enjoyable, but we're not super invested, right? And
No,
that's why I'm
no.
like, I'm
Well,
poking. We're
we
all
should be,
poking a lot of
though,
holes.
because we've watched them all like opening weekend.
Right, but the thing is, we're not. There are people who are out there. I know some people who are like, "Oh my god, it's coming! Only one more week! Oh my god, it's gonna premiere at midnight! I have to watch." And then they're texting me, "Oh my god, this character's so amazing!" Or, "Oh my god," these people are fans.
Yeah, there are like hardcore people out there.
I was kind of tired of Millie Bobby Brown, but she grew on me a little bit over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's difficult for me to separate her and Finn Wolfhard's online, like what I know about them in the real world, versus
What do you know about
as
them?
actors. Like Finn Wolfhard's apparently like kind of an asshole.
He is?
Apparently, and
What did he
then
do?
he like let me look for the article, but he said something where he was like, "Oh, fuck all you people, criticism doesn't matter." And then I remember Millie Bobby Brown. There was this big scandal over like she was being like overly sexualized.
Yeah, but I
like-
remember like I heard stuff about them because their fans were being crazy and they like tried to shut that down.
Yeah, like wasn't there like a Twitter beef or something where they were telling everyone to calm down?
Yeah, well the fans are sexualizing Millie Bobby Brown and Wolfhard.
Finn, yeah.
And so I remember that was when he was like chill out, but I don't remember him like being an asshole unprovoked.
I'm looking.
Let's see what else. What did you guys think of Dustin?
I liked him.
He was
I feel-
fine.
They didn't know
Yeah,
what
he
to
was
do
fine.
with him.
Yeah,
I like him and
guess you're
Steve
right.
together, but I didn't like them in the Russian base. What about the girl? I forget her name.
What
The
the
ice
one they made a
cream.
lesbian?
Yeah,
Robin.
Robin.
Yeah, her.
So she was a lesbian,
Yeah,
but so
I
she
think
didn't
so.
like.
Wait, how did we know she was a lesbian?
Because
Well,
when
she
they were
said she
on the
was a
floor
lesbian.
of the bathroom and they were talking about like like he was saying like, oh, I have a crush on you now. He's basically going through like,
I
hey,
thought
we
she
used to
was
sit
in
there.
love with him. Didn't she say she like
Well,
liked him
no,
in high school?
she said
Yeah.
earlier like, hey, there was this girl that like you were obsessed with or whatever. But she's like, I didn't like her. I didn't like you because I had a crush on you. I liked you because I didn't want her to like you. And she's like, didn't she have a crush on the girl who liked him?
Didn't she originally say that she liked him though?
I think there
Didn't
was something
she hint at
confusing
that?
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to shittily explain. There were like two sections when they were on drugs tied to the chair. They were talking about how back in high school they had that class that he didn't remember her from, but she got upset and jealous because there was that other girl that kept staring at him the entire time, like because of his hair, because he was like hot or whatever. And then later on, when they're on the floor of the bathroom, like having a heart to heart, she explains, "Oh, I wasn't jealous because I had a crush on you. I was
Oh.
jealous because I wanted her to look at me instead."
Yeah.
So, in my search of Finn Wolfhard, I guess you guys were right. Some actress like said, "Hit me up in 4 years," and everyone was who was 27, and everyone was like, "Ugh, that's not okay." And then also, I discovered Wolfhard recently fired his agent Tyler Grasham over allegations of sexual assault and inappropriate
Oh yeah,
behavior
yeah.
with
I
aspiring
remember
young
that.
male
Yeah.
actors.
That was almost like a year or two ago.
Yeah, this is like the stuff.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So I did you know that that girl is the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman?
Really?
who?
Robin.
I like
She
Ethan
kind she
Hawke.
kind of looks like Uma Thurman a little bit.
I like Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that's their daughter.
Well, now I can assign her value because I like her dad, so it trickles down. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Robin was all right.
She was okay. Yeah. Again, why is she in a Russian military base?
I'm telling you,
I
okay.
like Steven Smirnoff, and I think Hopper was pretty good too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now that Hopper's dead, if they keep him dead, which they won't, but if they do, what they should do is they should take the opportunity to introduce a new adult character who has a connection to the goddamn military. And that way we can get the military perspective.
Yeah, but who will he fall in love with?
He doesn't need to fall, or I guess Winona Ryder, and she can be struggling over the second guy she's in love with who
So,
died.
what was Mike's mom like? What was her thing with her husband?
She like didn't like him or something. She like wasn't pleased with him, I guess, because she went for Billy, or she was going to.
Yeah, but then she decided to stick with her husband, but it seemed like she still hated him at the end. Like he said something and she like rolled her eyes.
I don't know. I think it's just like 7-year itch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the guy's a lot older than her, right?
Well, yeah, but he's also like he's very much like settled into the role of domestic dad. Like at least I got the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really like her character anymore, the mom.
I mean, you know what's a little weird? In season 2, didn't they get visited by government agents? And like, or maybe season 1. In one of the seasons, like, they found out everything that was happening. And they like, and now this season, like, all this weird shit's going on, and they're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. And I barely remembered the first two. Like, I forgot about Sean Astin. I couldn't remember if he lived or died until they showed it.
He was good, I remember. I remember liking him.
I was confused because I think he was also in Fargo. And it was like a similar like small town happy nice guy, and I couldn't remember, like I was blurring the lines. I'm like, was there an episode where they were in the snow? I couldn't remember. Anyway, I don't have much else to say about this. How about you guys?
Nah, not really.
All right, Emerson, do you have a fight of the week?
I do. So, Kia, you, me, Everett, and Cameron are in Hawkins, Indiana in 1980s, but it's us for whatever reason. And we see like 11 and the group of kids and her friends. And for some reason, we're like, oh, we need to take them out and we need to capture 11. Okay? And their whole group's together. What do we do?
Wait. We have to capture 11?
Yeah, capturing 11's our like goal because we're going to like sell her to the Russians or something. But assume we have to neutralize.
Need to come back alive?
No, they don't. But we're going to have to deal with them.
Okay. So where are the kids? Like, do we know where the
let's
kids
say they're in Mike's basement, okay? 11 and like all the kids, and let's say like Hopper and Winona Ryder are in the area, and like Steve. It's all the main characters of this that are in like one area.
Okay, and you said it's who do I have with me?
I'm gonna say it's me, Everett, Ian, and Cameron.
And we work for the Russians?
Sure. We're gonna sell her to the Russians.
Oh, we're gonna sell her to the Russians.
Yeah.
And we don't live in Hawkins.
No, we've just arrived there because we're like we have the knowledge of what 11 can do and we know the characters, and so we're just arrived and we know what we're gonna do.
Okay, I'd like to arrive at a time where there's rain. Can you accommodate that?
Okay. All right.
So, you know how they like to ride their bikes around town or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't wait to hear this.
I'm trying to think. Okay, how can we get them all?
Now we can separate them.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to... I forget that there's no text. Like, you can't send a text.
We can have radios.
Yeah, but... That's tricky.
I mean, let's be real. We just have to be like, Code Red! Code Red, come to the old house! And they'll come.
Yeah.
Well, why did you make it during rain?
To cover up the bodies.
Oh, God. Okay.
So basically, I think one of us would have to drop a hint that there was something cool going on the outskirts of town that they should check out.
Probably
Like,
Ian or Cameron would be best for that because
Yeah.
they're non-threatening.
Well, also Ian looks like he's their age, so
Yeah.
it could be like, hey, I heard there's like some strange disturbances on the east side of town. So then they go there. We show up, we have guns. And so we get the kids. I mean, let's just say we get half of them. This can be like done twice. So
Okay.
let's just say we got the first half and 11's part of it. We can still get the rest if we need to, if somehow 11 isn't part of it.
Yeah.
But
Well, how do you deal with 11?
Oh, well, no, that's the question.
You can knock her out, I guess.
Tricky though, because she can't see you coming.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Okay, so we go with the there's something happening on the outside skirts of town, okay? And then when they get there, okay, we set up like a large picnic. Okay? Like a very large picnic. And everything's poison. Everything's poison. Like everything. Sandwiches, drinks, everything. And we tell them yeah, I don't know, all this food was just here, whatever. And then because they're stupid and they seem to be into that shit, they'd probably eat or drink. So then 11 gets knocked out, and then we can we've got him dealt with. Because I think you gotta poison her somehow.
Okay.
You gotta get her to eat or drink something that takes her out.
Can't you just trank dart her or something? Because what idiot would go and eat food they find in the middle of the woods?
It's just with the poison, the autopsy will reveal foul play.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be poison. It can be a sleeping agent, something just to make him go to sleep.
Sure. Yeah. We can take care of 11, and then the kids, while they're passed out, just toss them into the river that's overflowing because of the rain.
Okay.
And then it's like the kids went adventuring, and they fell into a ditch, and the river like took them away. And it's very sad. And since 11's not even on paper,
No one will really know she's gone.
I mean, they'll look, but yeah. I think that's how. Now, the other way is if we didn't have the poison, I thought that we could like fire a weapon into them. But no, you don't want them to have like gunshots. I think that's the best way. Yeah, if you pass them out, if you knock them out, then you could just throw them in the river easily.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Hopper and Winona Ryder like come over and they're like, the kids are gone, and they'll be obsessed with the Upside Down, so we're scot free. They'll be like going back to the lab as
like,
we leave.
And they'll be like they won't even know whose house the kids are supposed to be at. Like
Yeah. Yeah, they'll have no clue.
Mess. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You guys ready to move on?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Roundup. Anyone watch the Women's World Cup at all?
Nah,
No.
not really.
So it finished. USA won. It was a great game. The first goal was a penalty, and I was kind of like annoyed that was going to be what the game was decided upon. But then Rose Lavelle scored a crazy goal against the Netherlands, and that put the game away. So it was overall a great final. So that was awesome. And then I guess there was some back and forth between Trump and Megan Rapinoe. Did you guys catch any of that?
No, I heard that Megan Rapinoe was saying things about Trump. I didn't realize Trump had deigned to respond.
No, I think she criticized. She was not doing the national anthem, so naturally Trump said something, and then I think she was like, I only want to talk about soccer right now, and Trump said something like she should worry about winning first before she opens her mouth, and then they won. So I think people were waiting to see what Trump would say, and then he congratulated them all in general. Like he didn't specify Megan. And of course Obama also congratulated them and did it much better. So yeah, that was that drama. But really the soccer was great. Then the men played Mexico in the Gold Cup, and it wasn't even Mexico's best team, but we actually were smashing them. Even though we didn't score, we were kicking their ass in the first half. And then in the second half, USA just fell apart. They conceded a goal, and Mexico won. So we didn't win the Gold Cup. But we had 2 big USA games in one day. That was interesting. Anybody watch anything else other than Stranger Things?
I'm trying to think. No.
Jade's been watching some show. I don't even know what platform it's on, but it's about like girls in a UK prison.
She told us about this, yeah.
Is it on Netflix? I think it might be on Netflix.
But she said it's like girls incarcerated or something like that.
Yeah. So, that's that. Okay. Moving on to trailers. Did you guys see the Mulan trailer?
Yep.
I thought it looked pretty decent.
So no singing, no songs, and no Mushu.
Did they say no songs?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to all be just instrumental numbers instead.
Huh. Because that song Reflection is pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're going to do what they did in Dumbo, where some of the background music is like the song, but there's no singing.
Yeah.
And I'll Make a Man Out of You? That's like the greatest Disney
I know.
song.
And I didn't think it looked that good. I'm going to be honest. I think it looked pretty generic.
Well, it can't look that generic. It's like a female warrior, ancient Chinese.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but it didn't, I don't know. Part of what, there's a magic missing to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that Disney element missing.
Yes, you're right.
And I don't know. I said that I thought this might be the one that it fell apart on.
Well, we got a black actress as Little Mermaid. Can you believe it?
I don't even care about that. Like, a lot of people are really angry.
I don't care, yeah, because mermaids can be any
ethnicity
race,
or race, yeah. And it's just like, As long as she can sing, long as
she has to have
like-
red hair, doesn't she?
yeah, but they can dye that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you kind of do need the red hair.
But I don't care about the skin color. I feel like the people who are like, it's funny to see like 45-year-old men who are all of a sudden like Disney fans, and they're like, oh no, listen, I really shit. It's like, yeah, and then his picture's him holding an AR-15 with the Confederate flag in the background. It's like, yeah, we know why you care.
Yeah, I don't mind. Anyway, we were talking about Mulan. I think it looks decent. You know, it's coming next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found it to be kind of like bleh. I don't know. It looked very like, I don't know. I didn't see because the magic is what attracts me to like Aladdin and to like those type of movies. And now, to be fair, I said Aladdin's trailer looked the garbage, and I ended up loving it along with you guys. So
Yeah, I do want the music though.
Yeah, not to mention, didn't you just say that you like warfare and stuff? Like, isn't Mulan all about the Huns invading China?
He got you there.
right, but it's not the type of warfare I like. First of all, which is like guns, and second of all, it looks like it's gonna be like weird. If it's like her dancing around and like twirling around like with her sword as she like destroys a million Huns, like that's not war, Everett. That's just weird.
Yeah, I know.
You told me you didn't like the trailer.
I didn't like the trailer. I think it looks awful.
But Everett, you
Big
told me
facts.
you did like it.
No, I didn't like the trailer. I thought it looked artistically pleasing at first, but then when I figured out that they're not going the Disney route with no songs and they're taking out Mushu, who's like one of my favorite Disney characters of all time, that just completely like sold it. I'm
And
not
also,
excited for that
like,
at all.
I don't know. There was a magic to the animated version. Like, the Huns were larger than life. They were barbarians. In this, that's just like, it's just a bunch of like random Hunnic guys who don't even look accurate to what the Huns would have looked like. And so there was some leaked thing that said she might not infiltrate the army as a man. She
What?
might be accepted as a woman.
No.
Yeah, then they can't do the movie
Don't
then
do
because that's the
that.
whole plot.
That there's like
Don't
there's
do
an there
that.
is because like she has her hair fully out in like all the scenes. So one of the like
Well,
leaked
you
things
can see
someone
the third
said.
act she does for sure.
Yeah, but like there was some leak people were talking about where they're like, oh, they're gonna go for her getting accepted as a woman at the beginning or something like that.
But that makes no sense.
I
The
don't
whole
like that
thing,
at
like,
all.
wasn't the whole thing about Mulan?
Why
was that
do
she
they
was
not
taking her
have the
place as her
songs?
father?
Aren't the songs in Mulan like aren't they some of the best Disney songs?
I mean, it's a tone. If you're going for a certain tone, they can't break into song.
Right, but still
It needs the like comedic humor. It needs Mushu.
yeah.
I read something on Reddit that people are calling "Make a Man Out of You" extremely sexist,
Oh God.
which is like apparently like what was one of the reasons what's influencing them not to include it. Which I said I don't even give
I
a
mean,
shit. Just
they're
put
right.
it in.
Today, that's a weird song to put out there. I'm not saying they're right, but you're just asking for trouble. I'm gonna make a man out of you. Like, the insinuation is that the woman is not good enough, and then she strives to be as good as the man, playing by the man's rules, which goes against like everything feminism is about these days. And yeah, this could be a dud. You might be right, Emerson. They're gonna get like a politically correct movie, and it has like no soul to it.
Yeah, no heart.
Yeah.
And listen, you don't have to be politically incorrect to have heart. Like you can do it tastefully. But
Yeah.
this is a classic story, and
Yeah.
like yes, at its core, it's a pretty good movie for like girls and women.
See,
It's
if you
about
made-
like
if you made a movie about like a white or like a black girl trying to make it on a team of white men, it's not racist. You wouldn't change it to where they just accept her immediately as a girl. Like, I mean, whatever. It wouldn't make sense because of the skin color, but
Did you guys see those comments that
What?
were kind of like sparking a fight about like racism and stuff? It said if they can cast a black woman to play Ariel,
Oh,
does
God.
that mean they can technically cast a white woman to play Mulan and no one can get mad?
that's just like
no, because Mulan is meant to be Asian.
No,
Yeah,
I
she's
know,
like-
I know. I'm saying it caused like a shit ton of
No,
arguments.
Everett.
But-
Stop. Don't just make up senseless arguments.
I'm not making up a
Anyways.
senseless argument.
learn to aim. Anyways, no, I'm kidding, Everett. Well,
No,
kind of.
no, okay, whatever.
But what I was gonna say, that clip that I sent you earlier, Kia.
Did you
The,
also send it to Everett?
Not yet.
No.
I mean, we're gonna sound like dicks making fun of him for this, but you might as well explain it.
So last night, the podcast crew was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands PvP,
God.
having fun. And in one engagement, I get gunned down from behind, and Everett turns to engage the target. And he holds down the trigger, empties a clip, and like every bullet flies past the guy, and the guy just lives. And then Kia just domes him, saving everybody. But it was just funny. I'll send you the clip later, Everett. It's quite comical.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see the clip. Oh,
Yeah,
shut
that
up.
was not my best night, I'll admit.
But anyways, no, it's just that, like, you don't have to be non-politically correct to have a soulful movie. But I think this story, like, it needs the humor, it needs the songs. And more than anything, I think that, like, yes, Make a Man Out of You is a sexist song, like, today. But I still think the movie's overall message is good. It's that women are equal, and a lot of the times they're being held back just because they're women. And at the end, she reveals who she is, and she gets accepted for it.
Yeah, and like, wasn't one of the whole things in Mulan about, like, the Huns didn't give a shit that she was a woman. They just viewed her as a warrior. So, it doesn't even really matter. Like, who cares?
Well, I think that's an interesting twist if they do it in the movie. Oh my god.
Where the Huns accept her.
They
Which-
don't care that she's a woman, and they're the bad guys.
Which is ironic because, as the dog barks into the mic, it's ironic because the Huns were actually, like, really strict on only men in the horseback.
You guys don't
But-
understand him, but the dog is expressing his displeasure with the casting of Ariel.
But yeah,
I'm actually
that'll be
really
interesting.
excited for that, though.
I'm excited for Ariel and the Little Mermaid
That because I said that when we reviewed
because there's magic
Aladdin.
in it.
Yeah, but I said that when we reviewed Aladdin that Little Mermaid's like my top movie, or at least one of them, in all of the Disney animated movies. So I'm really excited to see that. I don't care who they cast, as long as it's a good soulful movie.
All right, next trailer, Jumanji: The Next Level. Did you guys see that?
Yep.
No, I did not see that.
So it's Danny Glover and Danny. Who's the other guy? The white guy.
Danny DeVito.
Is it Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Danny DeVito's in the next one.
Yeah, The Rock
Yeah.
plays him. Like The Rock and what's his name played Danny DeVito and Donald Glover.
So they're going to
Donald.
find their nephew. Is that it?
Yeah, and it's just like some new characters in the game. There
It-
was
it
also
looks-
a controversy about it.
What?
So Karen Gillian's character wears a
Yeah.
different outfit in some of the scenes, and some delightful, like, incel people were like, "Oh, they're covering her up to admit to PC culture, even though it's a video game costume, so she should be wearing her normal outfit." And everyone's like, "Oh God!" And it became this big thing.
Is she
The
wearing
things
like
people will start
much
arguments
different
about.
outfits?
In some of the scenes, she wears a sweater.
Oh.
That's what they're angry about.
What is this society?
It's a
person
society of,
wears
like-
a sweater in a movie.
It's because it's angry nerds who are like, "Oh, they're covering her up. We don't get to see cleavage."
So the movie looks to be about on par with the first one, and the first one wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it looks interesting. As I'm saying, I'm not like, "Oh yeah, it's coming," but I'm excited for it.
Did you guys see the trailer for Maleficent 2?
I saw
Yes.
a part of it.
So
I
there's
was never
an army
I'm
of
not really-
Maleficents. Is that what that was?
Also,
at the end?
why is she evil now? I thought like the whole thing was she was good.
I don't.
You
I
gotta
kinda,
watch to
I
find
guess.
out.
I mean, I thought the whole thing was that like it was like her origin story. Like she's evil, but incentrically evil. I don't know. It's weird.
Incentrically.
Yeah, like because they
Eccentrically?
gave you like her whole origin.
Intrinsically?
Like no, eccentric. Like
Are you saying eccentric?
whatever. Just you know what I mean. Like the whole thing. Like
Eccentric is not a word.
Incentric.
quirky, I guess, is the other word I can use.
Incentric is a digital marketing agency.
Intrinsic value is the actual value of a security as opposed to its market price or book value.
Really? You're going to give me shit about my pronunciation of words?
Hey,
Come
at
on.
least I know what the right word is, Everett.
Throwing shade.
I know what
Man,
the
Everett
right
really is
word
becoming Fowler. It's eccentric, Everett. You don't know what the right word is. Eccentric is the word you're looking for.
My point is that the movie was her origin
intrinsic,
story.
I think, is the word he's looking for.
Because eccentric means unconventional and slightly strange.
And
That's what I
intrinsic
meant.
means belonging naturally essential. Didn't you say the evilness was intrinsic?
No, I did not say
He
intrinsic.
meant eccentric.
Yeah, I know what you said. What did you
No,
mean
he
to say?
meant eccentric, I promise.
Yes,
and
Emerson's
now I'm going to
right.
remember Everett mocking my
Eccentric.
pronunciation, and he's going to be
You
punished
just
for that.
mocked my pronunciation.
But you were wrong!
So what?
Yeah,
I know what
I
I was
think-
trying to say.
Evan, are your headphones turned up high? Because I hear Emerson echoing.
I don't know. I never really yell this loud, so let's find out. Here, I'll
No,
lower
not-
the volume. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, I watched the movie a long time ago. The whole thing was that they just basically tried to show off that she was misunderstood. She like had wings, part of like this like weird angel race or whatever. Like they tried to show you that her evilness was not like really warranted. Like she was misunderstood the whole time.
And now she's gonna lay the world to waste.
Yeah.
I mean, I might watch it.
Looks
Comes out
okay.
on a slow weekend or something. All right, let's move on to news. There's a lot of Far From Home stuff. I guess I'll do that at the end. We're getting John Wick 4 in 2021. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your excitement.
5.
4.
I'm going to say 3. All right, Joker director. What is the... Todd Phillips. He says, "We didn't follow anything from the comic books, which people are going to be mad about. We just wrote our own version of where a guy like Joker might come from. That's what was interesting to me. We're not even doing Joker, but the story of becoming Joker. It's about this man."
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm
it
okay with
sounds
it, mainly
interesting.
because I'm kind of burned out on all the DC stuff anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, sounds okay, I guess. I'm not
Will
really
this
that
be-
excited for the Joker
I
movie.
mean, people are going to be asking for like him to show up in a movie with Batman, right?
Maybe.
Of course they
Yes.
will, because that's all anyone cares about now, crossovers.
But I mean, crossovers are cool if they're done right. But do you guys think that he's going to die at the end?
Probably not. I'm going to say no.
Why would they need him to like be the Joker beyond the film?
I don't know. I think that there'll be some executive pressure to keep him alive for if they want to use him at some other
Yeah,
point.
but this is produced by Martin Scorsese, who did Taxi Driver.
No, I know.
Didn't he die in
Martin
Taxi
Scorsese's
Driver?
like-
Yeah, Taxi Driver has the guy die, but I don't know. I don't believe they'll kill him. But we'll see.
That'll be interesting.
well, if they do, he could be like a martyr and like cause copycats to pop up and stuff.
Fast and Furious is bringing back Charlize Theron for Fast and
Good for
Furious
her.
9 and
They're
Helen
making a-
Mirren.
Why are
Dude, they should
making
do a
ninth one?
crossover. Mad Max and Fast and Furious.
Mad Max.
They go through a portal.
They should do Hobbs and Shaw in Fast and Furious.
Wow, crazy. It's almost
Hey,
like
did that movie come out?
I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't think it came out because you would have heard like some box office stuff. I just want to know if it's any good at all. It's playing right now.
I might look up the plot later on Wikipedia to see if it's worth seeing.
I might say let's review it next week.
But we have Lion King next week, don't we?
No, that's a
No.
week more.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
But don't we all universally hate the Fast and Furious movies?
no,
I think
there's-
they're fun.
There's no way in hell I'm going to go see this movie. But I want to.
I would never go to theaters, but I think they're fun.
The older ones are good,
I want
but the newer ones where they get more modern are kind of cringy.
They're all stupid.
They keep going after Paul Walker died, which I think is kind of like stupid.
I can't find the score for this. This is kind of weird. Can you guys find it? Hobbs and Shaw? What's its rating?
No.
Hobbs and Shaw.
No consensus yet? When did it come out?
It says it comes out on August 2nd.
I just saw showtimes.
Yeah, it shows me
Oh,
showtimes
August
too.
1st. Yeah, never mind. It hasn't. Yeah, it's a month away. Okay, never mind. Um, okay, let's talk. Um, San Diego Comic Con schedule. Marvel Studios. Um, they skipped it last year, and it's going to be Saturday, July 20th, 5:15 p.m. I mean, it's not going to be broadcast, right? So whatever. But Saturday is when we'll probably get the slate for everything for all the next Phase 4 movies. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hear this year is going to be huge in like the wake of Stanley's death.
Game of Thrones is returning to Hall H on Friday, July 19th to take a final bow. You've heard of people saying that. Was it one of you guys telling me that?
That Game of Thrones was like preparing to like attack them.
The fans.
The like
yeah.
Reddits.
Yeah, they were like gonna. Emerson was talking
It's
about how
being-
like they were gonna like diss on the writers and stuff.
It's being led by the Free Folk subreddit.
Yeah.
What?
Thursday, July 18th, they're going to talk Terminator.
Oh God.
Also on Saturday the 20th is Westworld Season 3, but I think I'm done with that.
I wanna
The
see,
Witcher,
like,
Friday, July 19th.
Oh.
His
That
Dark
sounds nice.
Materials, something from HBO. That's on July 18th. Marvel's
Wait, his
Agents
Dark
of
Materials
S.H.I.E.L.D.
is HBO.
Say that again?
His Dark Materials is from HBO.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It has James McAvoy in it too. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to have a panel on Thursday, July 18th. That's not really canon anymore, is it?
No, it is. It's just obscure canon.
Well, they didn't go with like the snap and the 5-year thing.
Well, that's being. I thought it was because they're like running a few years behind almost, aren't they?
I don't know.
Like they used to run it concurrently with the movies, but they don't really do that anymore. I don't think, do they?
I don't know. Okay, there's going to be a Snowpiercer TV show.
Oh
discussion.
God.
Yeah. CW. Oh God, like they're going to have a lot of shows. Whatever.
Yes,
Arrow
you
has
say the
one.
word CW and I immediately just
Apparently,
my
Power
face burns.
Rangers. Hasbro will be bringing the Power Rangers to San Diego Comic Con, offering a look at their next line of collectible figures. So that's something. Fox and TV will be there. AMC will be there, like the channel. Something about the boys. That comes out July 26th. So that's that Amazon thing about. Was it superheroes? Yeah, it's a comic thing.
No, The Boys. The Boys is like the group of people who are trying to kill the superheroes.
Yeah.
Stop them.
Batman Hush World Premiere.
Oh, is it the animated one?
Yeah.
Didn't we see a trailer for that when we saw the first Batman
yeah.
in
And
theaters?
it's coming out early August.
Yeah.
I don't remember. DC Universe, I don't know. Marvel games.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do the.
They have
gonna
they have a
do-
lot to show off. Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Marvel's Avengers, an announcement for hopefully Marvel Spider-Man 2. That would be crazy if they announced that before the Arkham games get another one. The Avengers Endgame writers will be there. On Friday, Russo brothers will be there on Friday. Batman Beyond, 20th Century. Pennyworth? This actually like has a thing.
That's it.
Yeah, aren't they doing like a movie or a TV show about Alfred? Is that
A
it?
1-hour drama series based on DC characters, blah, blah, blah. Pennyworth is an origin story that follows Bruce Wayne's legendary butler, Alfred Pennyworth, a former British SAS soldier in his 20s. He forms a security company and goes to work with Thomas Wayne, Bruce's billionaire father, in 1960s London. Blah, blah, blah. Premieres Sunday, July 28th. Oh, wow. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, that's about it. So that's interesting. What else? Okay, let's talk Spider-Man: Far From Home. There's been some comments from the directors and the creators and all that. Let's talk that first mid-scene. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man: Far From Home, you can check out now. Let's see. Okay, why J. Jonah Jameson? Okay, he wasn't in either of the two Amazing Spider-Man films. This is from Kevin Feige. So we felt like we had to do that at some point. Homecoming didn't seem like the right idea, and then 95% of Far From Home takes place outside the city. So it felt like that was the opportunity to do a number of things. One, to have Mysterio win in a way that you're not expecting. To have Mysterio pull one last trick on him. And in those conversations with Jameson, it was always about how the notion of the powerful publisher doesn't exist anymore. Selling newspapers, get them out, they got to get to print, is a very romanticized notion that doesn't exist anymore. So, in the Ultimates, there was the Daily Bugle website and things like that. But taking it into an even more contemporary radical left and radical right news journalist, that kind of scream in front of the camera and thinking who could do it. The thing is, J.K. Simmons is such a versatile actor. Look at what he's done over the years since his iconic portrayal of the character in the Sam Raimi films. And then all of his work, wasn't he Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah.
And then all of his work, Whiplash being one of the biggest ones. It can be the same actor with that somewhat similar voice inflection, but with a totally different persona. That had never been done before. We really like that idea, and it's a new Jameson. He's not from another dimension or multiverse or something like that. It's a new Jameson in this world played by the same actor. Interesting. On outing his identity, much like the end of Iron Man, saying, okay, the rules have changed, which now means we're going to have to do something completely different next time. The how and the when and the specifics can change and evolve, but setting yourself up for something that has never been done before at the end of Iron Man, it was a hero publicly outing himself so that in the next movies and all subsequent movies we couldn't fall back on the secret identity trope, which had been a part of the Iron Man story for decades in the comics. And now people know Peter's identity. People now think he's a villain. Mysterio plays one last trick on him and succeeds. So that means everything's different. Where it goes, we'll see. But it's exciting that it once again sets us up for a Peter Parker story that has never been done before on film. I mean, he's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they'll do. It'll be interesting.
I hope it's the Sinister Six and they're just attacking Peter Parker left and right. That could be a great film. I just don't know where you go after that. And you also cheat yourself out of, college Peter Parker, balancing life and all that. Okay. On the scrolls, we had talked about including it as a body of the movie, but it made the most sense to be the very last little con in this movie about con men. Just one last little reversal. And we went back and forth as to whether or not we really wanted to do that or not, because it's such a crazy twist that makes you want to watch everything again. Because once you realize that Nick and Maria aren't Nick and Maria, you can enjoy the movie in a completely different way. Everything they say takes on a different meaning when you realize that they're not actually who they say they are. I think it was one twist too many, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the director, John Watts, about the multiverse. He says, there's no Earth 616. Earth 616 is the comics version of it. He's just making that up. It just means he was full of shit. He's talking about Mysterio. I mean, in Doctor Strange, we hear the Ancient One talk about the multiverse, so we've already established it as a thing. But Mysterio knows nothing about it.
Good.
Keeping J. Jonah Jameson the secret, or J.K. Simmons, I should say. That was always the plan because we knew that we wanted to reveal Peter's identity, and we wanted to bring in this idea of news and not being exactly sure what you can believe or not believe. And it was always going to be him, but we didn't want to say anything to him or to anyone because we didn't want any press to leak about it via his agents or whatever. So we waited until the very, very last second and called him up, and he came by and he was, wait, you want me to do what? It took him a second to understand, but as we pitched the idea, he was totally on board, and he really loved getting to be the person who finally outs Peter Parker. Kevin Feige on the snap or the blip. We always refer to it as the blip, and then the public started referring to it as the snap. We think it's funny when the high school kids just call this horrific universe-changing event the blip. We've narrowed it down to the snap is when everyone disappeared at the end of Infinity War. The blip is when everyone returned at the end of Endgame. And that is how we have narrowed on the definitions. John Watts on what's next potentially. I mean, we definitely have ideas of where we want to go, but the goal is to try and make this movie the most dynamic and entertaining experience possible. And if that means ending on a crazy cliffhanger and painting yourself into a corner, then so be it. Good for him. Kevin Feige on the scrolls. Fury does things earlier in the film where he refers to the Earth to Peter as your world instead of our world. And when you watch it for the first time, it just goes by. But when you watch it the second time knowing what's coming, it's fun to see that they're there. And John Watts is very good at laying those Easter eggs. John Watts on Talos and Fury. There was one crazy thing that was a fan theory that I didn't get to work into the movies, but it was really funny about Fury cutting his toast diagonally. Do you know that one? It's the question that he's asked in Captain Marvel to prove who he is, and he says he doesn't like his toast cut diagonally, but there's a shot in Age of Ultron of him cutting a piece of bread diagonally. So it spawned all these crazy... Stop it, puppy. So it spawned all of these crazy fan theories of, is that not really Nick Fury in Age of Ultron? Is he a Skrull? So I read all of that stuff. Hang on a second. So he's saying in Age of Ultron, he cuts his toast diagonally.
Oh, when he's in the kitchen at Barton's farm.
So he's essentially saying that he thinks that was Talos.
I guess.
I mean, he didn't say that, but
yeah, you know
he's
what?
saying
that would
would
make
be
sense.
that would be a thing.
But doesn't Fury say he only eats toast diagonally when he's really him in Captain Marvel?
Yeah, and so he doesn't. No. He in Captain Marvel, he says he doesn't like his toast cut diagonally, but in Age of Ultron, he eats it diagonally, suggesting that's not really him.
I mean, that would make sense, like, for the timelines after Winter Soldier when he gets shot.
But I like this guy more.
I like Talos' Fury. Yeah, way more. We kind of said that. Badass Fury is Talos pretending to be a badass.
God damn it.
Kevin Feige on grounding the villains. I think what was important is that we started by saying this is not a science experiment gone wrong that created that. We like that our MCU Spidey villains are rooted more in reality, if you can call it that. So that's where we started with Mysterio and getting into the notion of drone technology and hologram technology, and how would one have access to that level of technology that takes you back to Stark Industries and wanting to fill the void left when Tony sacrificed himself. We thought it's fun tying in characters from other films, like the Peter Billingsley character who just worked alongside Obadiah Stane in our very first movie. We thought it was fun to see him return. That was cool. Why J.K. Simmons or no one, says John Watts. Yeah, there was never a question. I was like, it has to be him or let's not do it. Yeah, we already said that basically. J.K. Simmons is not a multiverse tease. John Watts on botching J.K. Simmons' first take as J. Jonah Jameson. I ruined the first take because he just launched right into it, and it was so amazing that I couldn't stop laughing. It was so great. No, I think he was glad that it was still... Oh, they said, did that annoy the actor? No, he was happy that it was still working. So basically, that's nothing. Kevin Feige on having Spider-Man move out of Iron Man's shadow. In the spoiler territory of the end of the movie, we return Peter back to New York, and we return to the fun of how awesome it is to see Spider-Man swinging around New York. We return to a new classic version of J. Jonah Jameson that we haven't seen in many films, and yet in a totally different new context, and at the same time charting new ground for Spider-Man with his identity out there, which has never been done before in the movies. One was Tony Stark's choice, one was against Peter's will. That's the difference. That was the difference. It'll be fun to see Spidey back in his element, out of the shadow of Tony, out of the shadow of the Avengers, as his own man now, as his own hero, and yet now facing his own challenges that aren't coming from Avengers fighting like Civil War or aliens coming like Infinity War or Endgame. It's all Peter-focused and Peter-based.
You know what I
That's
realized?
what I wanted.
You know what I just realized? So you know how at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio paints him as the villain, right? That's what they're saying in these interviews.
Yeah.
Wouldn't all Peter have to do is release the footage from his like heads-up display, like from his like suit, to show that that's not true, and then everyone would believe it? Because remember in Homecoming how Peter's suit says it records everything he sees?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that mean like everything that he did in Far From Home got recorded, and he could just release that footage to like the public and say, "This is what really happened. Mysterio's a liar." Like,
If
And
I mean
that-
that's the
that
old
clears
suit.
name.
If the
Well,
new suit
I
does
also
that.
think I think that part of this reveal is going to be like for the general public, not villains. There's going to be a question of like, okay, Mysterio was probably a bad guy, so we don't know if we trust him. Like, so like, for example, the police are probably not going to be going for Peter Parker, but they also will be like kind of midway, like no one's entirely sure what to do, but the villains will obviously be coming to kill him.
Right. Okay. That makes.
I
sense.
want Craven.
Yeah, I want Craven too. Craven would be kick-ass.
Okay. So John Watts, again, on who he would pick for the villain of the next film. Whether he would be interested in reintroducing Norman or Harry Osborn. And while he doesn't seem overly interested, well, there are a lot of Spider-Man stories to tell, and it's just finding out the right time to tell them. He says, I mean, yeah, I always just try to start with what haven't we seen before. And there's so many Spider-Man villains. I mean, the fact that I got to, in a way, bring Hydro Man and Molten Man to a movie, really I get a kick out of that, even if they are fake. But no, I don't know who's next. I always like to think about it in terms of what's going to be the most difficult thing for Peter. So that's going to be the next trick. He says, oh, I would love Craven. It's just the trick of how do you do Craven in a movie. So... I think you can do Craven in a movie. You just need more villains.
I think Craven should be like a bigger part though.
Well, he could be like the ringleader trying to hunt down Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
you need other villains like the
I
Scorpion.
think, they brought Vulture, they made him real. Then they just made Mysterio real. These are guys who were not really considered like A-list villains.
Right.
Give
Yeah.
Craven the treatment.
All right, and
Or send him to Wakanda.
Yeah.
What if he is Wakandan?
That'd be cool.
Sorry. Okay, one last thing. This is from John Watts. First of all, to clarify the timeline, that's the real Nick Fury at Tony's funeral at the end of Endgame. So it's not like he's been a Skrull forever, or like it's not like he's been a Skrull... Oh, for God's sakes. Shut up! God, it's because I squeaked the damn chair. Oh my God, he was asleep. All right.
Dude, you gotta like put him somewhere.
Then they'll just bark more if they know I'm home. So it's not like he's been a Skrull forever, or like it's not like he's been a Skrull since Captain Marvel. We were going to have him eat diagonal toast cut diagonally. You know that one? That would have given it away. Okay. There's such a history of Nick Fury and the Skrulls, especially now that people have seen Captain Marvel and they've seen what is happening with those stories in the MCU. But to me, it was always just this fundamental question of how could Mysterio actually fool Nick Fury? Because Nick Fury's superpower is being suspicious, you know? It always sort of bothered me, even though we knew that that's what we wanted the story to be, that Nick Fury could get duped even though he's been gone for 5 years and he's on his back foot. I wanted to come up with one last little reveal that could explain that unanswered question, and when you're making a con man movie, it just feels like the right thing to do to have one last little twist that makes you look at everything slightly differently. I would say he succeeded in that sense.
Yeah.
His reveal of his identity is meant to be a parallel to Iron Man, which, we sort of could guess that. Yeah, I think, Tobey Maguire also returned. He says, yeah, I mean, we brought back J.K. Simmons, so at Marvel I would say anything is on the table. I'm just looking for more quotes.
It'd be pretty funny to see Tim Maguire. I
don't
want
want
to
him.
I want to see him as Uncle Ben in like a flashback. That'd be funny.
No.
That'd
I
be
think it might be
distracting.
campy.
Yeah. It would take me out of the movie. Jesus Christ. Alright, so that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, all right.
You guys good?
Yeah.
So next
No
week
gaming
is Godzilla 1998.
Yes! Yes!
Uh,
Yes,
God,
yes, yes,
fucking
yes,
damn it.
yes. Suck it, Everett.
Thank you for listening to the Iron Coop Fights movies. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, review our podcast on iTunes so that we can spread the show around. To contact the show, you can reach us at theironcube@gmail.com and on Instagram at theironcube. Join us for another edition of the Iron Coop Fights movies.